efforts that are taking place, and he has demonstrated, a love for the people of St. Vincent as well, because he has been sending container loads of water and different food supplies, as some of the other companies here at the BVI. So kudos to everyone who is supporting in whatever way that they can.
To answer your question regarding the airport of Barbados, I've actually just received a message from David Edwards, past district governor, who's in Barbados right now, and he said the airport is not open yet.
It's still not open. So you see, this
impact.
This thing is impacting the whole Caribbean. It's impacting our tourism. It's impacting our food line. It's impacting every aspect.
Canceled. He had canceled flights. I don't know, have they resumed?
No, well, obviously not into St. Vincent or Barbados.
Not into St. Vincent, but but they canceled their flights earlier because of the dust. And there was a report earlier that the dust is ashes already beginning to affect the USVI, which is just a stone's throw away from us. I don't know when we may see it, but it's affected. But this is very small in comparison to really what is happening in St. Vincent itself.
And I'm sure we all have persons. I mean, at Rotary Holster, you must have a number of persons from St. Vincent. I mean, I in my office at BDO have persons from St. Vincent, and I hear the stories from what their friends and family are experiencing, and it is heart wrenching to hear how much of an impact that's had, but also it's also the great stories that you hear from these tragedies. I mean, the tragedies are never great to hear, but also the heartwarming stories that you hear coming out of them, and I know, and they're almost in tears as to how much support that they've already received. So I think we've got another update.
Yes, indeed. This is an announcement.
Oh, an announcement. Sorry.
Well, it's an announcement. It's money.
Okay.
But it's not money that we have tonight. Yeah. It's to say that the revenue from sugarcane in Virgin Gorda tomorrow evening, Friday the 16th, will be donated in full to the telethon.
Wow.
So it's such a great thing to do. So go out, Virgin Gorda, and the ferries are running on Tortola as well, from Tortola. Go out to Sugarcane and enjoy a great meal in a beautiful atmosphere, and the money you spend will go straight to this cause. So we are very grateful to the Sugarcane, and this comes from the Kellner Family Foundation. Mm-hmm. We are very, very grateful for this contribution. All of the funds, all of the monies from Sugarcane Restaurant tomorrow will, and tomorrow is Friday, of course. So
what better day to happen?
What better day for it to happen? Exactly. So we will expect a significant contribution.
So not only will you leave with a stomach full of food, but you'll also leave knowing that you're helping St. Vincent.
Exactly.
I mean, how much better can you make a Friday night?
Exactly.
Let's move. I see our illustrious district governor is online.
That's right.
As within Rotary, we are sort of governed by a district governor who changes every single year. And this year, our district governor is from the Bahamas. Last year, I was our very own Delma Maduro. So we want to hear a little bit more from Charles Seeley, who is our current district governor from the Bahamas, because he's in direct contact with District 7030, with St. Vincent, and how the relief efforts are going from a Rotary point of view within our area. So I don't know if we could unmute. We've got a whole team of technology people in behind the scenes. So hopefully we can get Pastor or District Governor Charles to be able to say a few words. So we'll give him a few seconds while they get the technology sorted out. But Rotary around the Caribbean has been very influential. I put myself on mute. Has been very influential within the relief efforts. It's they're on the ground in St. Vincent. They're on the ground and working with Nemo directly to help. And that's why I think what we're trying to do is getting the funds directly to Rotary, which means we're able to get the funds and we're able to get the info. We're able to get support right where it needs to go immediately. In speaking with persons in government in St. Vincent, what they have reiterated, and I think I've said this already before, is that money is the best way right now to give for relief. We will be collecting supplies here, and those will be taken to St. Vincent as well. But because of how much aid is coming in through the ports, to take pressure off the ports, giving money like that will mean that we can purchase supplies on the ground, and
it helps stimulate the economy.
It does.
When you get an inflow of cash as opposed to.
Okay. So yeah. So we're working some technical difficulties. Well, so
in the meantime, we have a couple of updates.
Yes, we certainly do. How exciting! We have received a pledge from Medicure Limited, and that is in the grand sum of $5,000. Isn't that
fantastic?
That is
wonderful.
Fabulous. $5,000 from Medicure Limited.
And I have one too. Thank you, Medicure Limited. And I have from Maria's by the Sea, $6,000. Maria's by the Sea is sending $6,000 together with prayers for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Thank you so much, Maria's and family, for this generous contribution.
Oh, that is
so even in these difficult times, it's amazing. So I see. It's heartwarming. I can't even find words right now. I'm speechless.
Yeah.
So we're working. I think we're working on some stuff behind the scenes. I'm just waiting on. I'm waiting on our admin person just to unmute Charles while he's.
While you're doing that, there is another pledge from a dear past librarian, Verna Penmore. She's pledging $200 from herself and Peter. And she's doing so with much love for the people of St. Vincent. Thank you very much, Verna and Peter Moore. Thank you.
Indeed.
$200.
Thank you so much.
So we're still working on some technical difficulties. This is the fun thing about doing these live things. You never know what's going to happen. But
well, I hope we don't lose our district governor.
He's still there. We'll figure out the technical difficulties. We have to, because all the rest of everything is coming in on Zoom.
There he is.
We see him on video. Do we see him on audio? His mic is still muted.
Where is Hakimo?
Can he unmute?
Yeah. So, Past District Governor Charles, can you hear us? You just give us a thumbs up if you can hear us.
No.
He's not hearing us.
He's not hearing us. Okay.
David was hearing, right? Because
David is hearing.
David was hearing.
Past District Governor Charles says he can't hear anything, but all right. So we're working on some technical difficulties here while we're going. So, but
while we're at it, I have a couple of other updates. Earlier today, I received a check from Nelda and Brent Bryden for $500.
Wonderful.
So, yes,
that's fabulous.
Really, really fabulous.
Fabulous.
And I would like to encourage in all sectors, in fact, the financial services industry, the tourism industry, everybody, as our assistant governor said, no amount is too big or too small to give. I mentioned the financial services industry because I also received a check yesterday from Simon Filmer for $500.
Oh, great.
So please. I mean, we both work in the industry, and I know you made the announcement yesterday, so you should reiterate it today.
Absolutely.
So
it's these things are important. Financial services financial services has been good to us. But now we have to sort of make sure that we take care of everybody. So it's good that people are listening, and that people care about it. So we are working on some technical difficulties. I am understanding that I think we've lost our. He's probably going to rejoin, but we've lost our district governor for a second. But I'm sure he'll be back.
But we have an amazing district, and we get tremendous support. And I do recall very well in the immediate aftermath of Hurricane Irma, a couple containers of water was sent immediately to us from District 7020 right after the hurricane. And not only that, there was a fundraising program that was launched, and we received some additional funding that helped us to do various things. Some of that money went to help us with the renovations of the East End along Fire Station. And then we had some other grant monies that came in to help us to
QE2 Park was refurbished.
Help us with the QE2 Park. We received like about $40,000 that went towards the renovation of Miss McKetney's home. So there was tremendous support for us, and there were many other things that came in through our district, the efforts of our district, in the aftermath of Hurricane Irma. So it is again something that we do as a district. The support is there, and we're very grateful, and I'm sure we're going to be hearing from DG Charles some of the things that have been done and things that are in the works from a district point of view.
I certainly hope that we get that Zoom thing figured out, because the Minister of Agriculture wants to come on Zoom from St. Vincent as well.
Oh, as we were talking to.
Yes, as we were talking about the agricultural situation.
Can we get Akimo to come in?
Where is Akimo?
So, all right. So we're working on it. Just people bear with us while we get our technical stuff done. You'd figure after a year of lockdown with COVID that we would have figured everything by now. Oh, I'm hearing sound. There we go. Though I think we've got feedback. So we're working on some stuff here. We've got a little bit of feedback. Okay. Over. There we go. We've got a little bit of feedback there, but we're a step closer than we were about 3 seconds ago, or 30 seconds ago. So we're working on some technical difficulties. But like I said, don't let that, because we're having some difficulties here. I know the phones are working in the back because the pledges are coming in.
Who's that?
So is that right?
No, that's.
We have him. Charles, you can hear us.
He's on two.
That's why we have any feedback.
Charles, you can hear us? He's gone again. Well, no, he's still there on one of them. But please continue to call. Let me while we're waiting on that, let me just call the numbers again in case you're listening on the radio, just so you can get those numbers. So 542-6434. 542-0192. Call in. Again, these are 284. So put 284 if you're calling from outside the BVI. 541-7460. 541-3712. 541-5741. 541-3346. 541-8372. 541-0555. 541-2899 and 541-2698. So we're still doing some. We still got some audio issues.
Well, in the meantime, while we wait to sort those technical issues, we have a couple of guests. Let's bring in our past district governor.
Do you have a number to call him? Phone number?
I think he's outside.
Yeah. Let's get past District Governor Vincent.
And we also have, I think we have Bishop Charles, who's from St. Vincent. So let's see.
We can get both of them in at the same time.
No, the problem is.
Oh, that's true. We're a little tight in. With us as well to join in. Our own past district governor. Everybody knows Vance Lewis. I don't even need to introduce him. So Vance.
And he has a credit card.
Oh, he's got a credit card.
Yes, he has a Visa credit card.
And I will say thank you very much, PTG Delma, AG Ryan, PAG Lorna, and to everyone else listening. What a worthy cause, because our brothers and sisters in St. Vincent, they are really under the gun. We remember when we were under the gun, the citizens of St. Vincent really came to the aid of the BVI. But that's not the only reason we should give. I think we should give tonight, and that's one of the reasons I came with my credit card, because on the way inside, I already made my pledge.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
And I made a pledge on credit because I believe the citizens of St. Vincent, they will be benefiting from the Rotary activities tonight at the BVI, and beyond the BVI tonight, looking at the panel, for quite a long time, and they will need it. Because if we think back to Montserrat, back in the 1995-96 eruption, they're still not over it yet. And this is 25 years from then. We think back to other telethons that we've done in Haiti, 2011. They're still not over it. And so in the Caribbean, we really have got to become our brothers' keepers and our sisters' keepers as well. And we must continue to give and give generously just to help people in St. Vincent at the moment. And by doing so, we're helping ourselves as well. Because I looked at a video the other night, and I saw heavy ashfall in Barbados. And I look on the screen, I see PDG David. And I know in Barbados they're suffering badly. And so, you know, by helping people in St. Vincent, we are also helping to allay some of the issues that our sister islands are going to see in some neighboring islands as well. So, I mean, I've been just on and I've hogged the floor for a few minutes. Perhaps what I need to do is to let someone else continue. But while I'm here, and I've just been jabbed by PDG Delma, who is telling me, keep talking, I would like, if nothing else, I would just like to make sure that I tell everyone, here's why you should give. You should give because you are making lives better. In Rotary, we say our motto is service above self. And that's why we are here as a Rotary family, leading the charge. And this is not the BVI Rotary family alone, we're just the main organizers. It is service above self for everyone because there's a little bit of Rotary in everyone. And, you know, by giving tonight, you're helping your brothers. By giving tonight, you're helping your sisters. Mm-hmm. And by giving tonight, we're helping the entire Caribbean, helping the economy recover, but helping to change lives, which is the main Rotary theme. Rotary changes lives. Mm-hmm. And I want to implore everyone to give whatever you can. It may be tough where you are tonight, but I can guarantee you that people, especially in the red zone in St. Vincent and the orange zone in St. Vincent, they have it tougher. You may not know how tough they have it because you may not have seen a volcano erupt in the BVI, but we have seen adversity. And having seen the adversity following hurricanes, floods first of all, and then hurricanes Irma and Maria, we've seen it. We know what it is like. And I want to encourage everyone, please help someone up. Give to help someone up. Give to help many people up. Give generously. Open your hearts. Because as you open your hearts and you open your wallets, more will be returned to you in due time. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you for that passionate plea.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
No.
You always have a way with words, though.
Well, he's been at this now for how many years?
Well, I've been at it for quite a long time, but I've been touched.
Yes.
And I think I've been blessed as well, because like other people, we all have seen adversity. Mm-hmm. And, we know very well that some people would have it worse than others. We are simply trying to change lives to make things better for everyone. And, and that's my little bit. If I cannot say anything else, the one thing I want to leave tonight with the audience is by giving, you're changing lives. Just like the Rotary way. Mm-hmm. By giving, it is service above self. Yeah. And by giving, you're making someone's life better. You may not ever get to know them, but you never know who you touch. Let me tell you a little story. Back in I think it was 2011, the Haiti earthquake. 2010?
2010, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Haiti earthquake. We had the telethon here.
Yes.
And we were so amazed after the telethon, which was successful. We raised some $250,000 plus dollars.
A lot of money.
I think P.G. Lona, you were very instrumental in that.
Yes, we were both there.
And we were so surprised. Days afterwards, we received an envelope from Anigada. And in that envelope were funds that a class, I think it was third grade, had gone around the community. Mm-hmm. And they had collected and sent it down. Mm-hmm. We inspired them. Mm-hmm. And so tonight, we can inspire each other to give. Yeah, so it's all about making sure that we're not selfish tonight. It's all about making sure that we can give, and we can give generously, and we can change lives. Yes. Make someone's life better. Yeah. And that's why my credit card is warmer than it was when it came.
But yeah.
And Vance, we are all connected in one form or another. We are, and as the good books say, we are a brother's keeper, mm-hmm. and we really should extend a hand when we can. And no matter how little we think we might have, others out there, so many others out there have much less than the little that we have. Let's share whatever we have, and blessings will come. Blessings will come to us as well.
Yes.
Do we have Charles now?
We seem to have it.
I hear something.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We're getting a little feedback though.
I'm trying to hear you through another device.
Okay.
We're hearing you.
Okay. Okay. So we can hear you now.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so we're District Governor Charles, welcome to our telecast. We're still getting some. You can hear us now? Sorry, we're getting a bit of feedback here still.
Just let him speak.
Yeah. So Charles, tell us how things are going.
Can't hear you.
We are hearing you.
Unfortunately.
He can't hear us.
You can hear me.
Yes.
Go for it, did you, Charles?
Speak.
Speak now.
Speak.
We can hear you now.
All right. Well, yes. let me just say good night to everyone. Hopefully, we don't get a whole lot of feedback. And maybe Ryan, what to do is pose the question to me by WhatsApp, and I'll just kind of wing it from that. In difficult times, we are called to adapt, right? That's actually one of our strategic intentions, that we have an ability to increase our ability to adapt. So we'll have to do it in this instance. So Ryan, I'll just have my WhatsApp up with you, and you can just kind of pose the question as we get started. But let me first of all say a special good evening from where I sit. I'm not sure what the time zones are with all the persons who are on, but a special hello to everyone. It is an interesting time that has called us to come together once again. But I do bring greetings, first of all, from the mother country of the Bahamas. I bring greetings on behalf of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And then I do bring it in a more superintendent role as the district governor for District 7020 here in the Caribbean. Just to kind of set the stage, we started off this Rotary year with an intention to consider the value of partnerships and how well partnerships will assist Rotary in expanding its footprint and being able to do more. And the district that we chose very specifically to start that partnership was District 7030. And I can tell you to date, we have had so many occasions from the time we started our training to now, where we have found powerful ways to connect one with another, to be able to opportunity for us to partner and be there for each other. And Rotary has proven to me that we are our brother's keeper. And this is one of those times where we are here to shoulder the responsibility to be there for our brothers and sisters. We are no stranger in the Caribbean to disasters. And as I look at the 4 persons sitting there, and I pay respect, of course, to our past district governors who are there, our assistant governor, our past assistant governor and assistant governor there. I just want to say thank you for really, again, leading in the intentions and the endeavor to do good, and to, in this instance, raise awareness and raise funds. And so for those, of course, in the listening audience, we're here asking you to partner with us, to join with us in being able to help our brothers and sisters through another difficult opportunity. The good thing about it is there's going to be a sunny day outside of this, but for right now, it's dark clouds for many of them who have a ton of uncertainty that is pervading. So we're here. I bring the commitment of District 7020. As you can see, past District Governor David Edwards, who's on the call, we would have had conversations very, very, very early when this happened to determine how we can come alongside. And I would, of course, had an opportunity to speak with District Governor Lyle to, one, echo our concerns, but also confirm our support that we will do in as many ways as possible, notwithstanding financially. Our district has already set the tone. We've already come with a financial commitment to District 7030. We're seeking more funds, and that's what I'm here to talk about, because this is not just about Rotary. This is about all of our friends, all of our partners in doing good, taking an opportunity like this to see how we can help our friends in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, those in Barbados, and even those in other territories that potentially can be impacted by this, and who will be, because you've got displacement that's taking place. And we now have to be our brothers' keepers, not just financially, but physically, opening up our homes and opening our hearts. And so that's the clarion call that we want to remind persons of during these moments in time. We are resolute in finding as many ways. I was on the call today with Jamaica, and I've got clubs in Jamaica who are putting together resources to be able to send. Some are tapping into the businesses there as well to garrison funds, again, so that we can send on to our partners and to really assist them. So during this telethon, if you're near a phone, here's the one thing you have to remember. A disaster doesn't care who is in its wake. And today it's St. Vincent and Grenadines, Barbados, etc. Tomorrow it could be you. That's right. And we have proven throughout the Caribbean that being there for one another has just helped us to walk through the challenge in the immediacy, but also to be there for one another in the building back to a level of normalcy. We still have disaster response going on throughout the Caribbean from disasters that have had. And guess what? Rotary is still there, visible. And I'm so proud of this organization. We were never first responders, right? That's what we're not supposed to be. But I can't think of one disaster in the Caribbean where we were not first responders, where we were not there in mind, body, and spirit, being able to help our brothers and sisters through whatever the calamity might be. And so once again, Rotary is here, standing toe and toe with our brothers and sisters in need, to be able to bring some support, bring some aid in immediacy, but also to listen. And when I spoke to David, one of the first things I wanted to know was, how can we help? Because it's you want to come and bring all kinds of resources, but the best thing to do is to find out where is the need and how can we be of greatest help. Right now, we need funds. We need funds so that we can get the necessary resources for those who are on the ground to be able to bring that level of support.
Well said.
Brian, I'll look to my WhatsApp now to see if there's anything else you want me to add to.
Well, we're making it work. So, no, he can't. But yeah, I sent him a message. So
I think that was a good personal plea by District Governor Charles, and I like how we personalize it for everyone, because at the end of the day, we are brothers keepers and our sisters keepers as well. And I think it is up to us to make a difference. Each one can actually make a difference.
Every single person. Yes. This is yours? Charles.
This is Charles.
And as Caribbean people, you know, it's like in these days of climate change and
That's
all
right.
of the things that are happening, it's a totally unpredictable situation.
yeah.
You know, it could be a hurricane, it could be an earthquake, it could be a volcano, as it is now. So,
And we're just 2 months away from
and
the
we're
new
just 2
hurricane
months
season,
away from the hurricane
which
season.
is predicted
Of
to be
course.
a more active hurricane
Right.
season than we've seen recently.
Yes, yes.
So, you know, we really got to take care of each other.
Yeah, but I mean, I like how he put it. Well, he's hopefully he's got my text. I just asked him sort of how the district is helping St. Vincent across the district, what he's hearing, what he's seeing. Did he say it?
That we gave some.
They do, but I mean from other islands, because I mean I know in speaking with persons in Bahamas, for instance, they're doing something to help out as well.
And he did mention Jamaica is rallying
Yes.
the community, the
Right.
corporate world over there.
Right.
To assist.
And I heard the U.S. Virgin Islands are actually planning to do something similar to what we're doing. Maybe not the same, it's a different
Okay.
blend, but they're coming together as the St. Thomas and St. Croix to do something. Not quite sure if it's fully defined at the moment, but I am confident as Rotarians, you know, although we're not first responders, we'll be there first.
We will be, and in fact we are quite there. But thank you very much, PDG Vance, for
Yes. And
for
thank
coming
you
in
so
and-
much, PDG Charles, as well.
sorry about the technical difficulties
Yes.
that he's experienced.
These occur. And let me thank the panel, because your exemplary leadership, I think, will make the difference and
Thank
help us
you.
to achieve and exceed what we've got to do. But I just want to say one thing. This race is not for the swift.
I know, we know.
So
yes.
we will be there long term. I hope everyone has a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much, Vance.
Thank you
God
very,
bless.
very much. Thank you.
And thank you, District Governor Charles. He said he's going to listen to us via Facebook. So not sure exactly what happened. Not sure exactly what's happening with his audio, but hopefully we've got things figured out. I've also been told, I think, Mr. Edmund person that past Assistant Governor David has lost audio with us
He's
as well.
lost audio too?
Something's gone a bit amiss.
Is everything plugged in?
We'll figure this out. But I mean, one thing that touched me, I think, what Charles really said is, and this goes back. I think I've spoken to with Rotary about this as well. Is those key words about how can I help? As Rotarians,
Sure, let Reverend share.
as Rotarians, those are words that we instantly ask. I know the first thing I thought of after I heard about the volcanic eruptions were those words of how can we help. So that's a perfect segue into our next guest, and is none other than St. Vincent's consul, I think we call him, Bishop Charles. So Bishop Charles, welcome to us. I think we can sort of, I think one of you can see us. So it's great to see you.
Yeah.
And how is St. Vincent handling this?
Well, I just got off the phone. As a matter of fact, just got off a Zoom call, and it's a little bit quiet now because they haven't had any major eruptions for the day.
Okay.
But I was just sharing that this is beyond anything we could think about. I was there in 1979 in the last eruption, and it's nothing like that. The ash flow, everything that's happened now is beyond description for what happened before. And I think it's described as the 1902 eruption. That is in comparison. It's beyond, and you're not making up a story here. This is literally beyond what people think about. Because I just saw, just in a report, probably all the people in the shelters, the roofs are collapsing still because the rain that came solidified the ash into a type of concrete stuff, and the roofs are caving in as we speak.
So it's, I mean, what are you seeing with the St. Vincent Association? Because you're obviously in direct contact with them.
Well, I just had a meeting with them this evening, the executive, and we're working together just to continue to show, and I want to express such commendation to you and the entire team for what has been shown in the BVI and with all of the other associations that have got together that are showing such camaraderie for the Vincentian community. I mean, I've lived in the BVI for almost 40 years, and I've never seen such unity coming with all the groups everywhere, and to really say thanks for such a movement. But the association is working hard. We are putting things together. We have trailers out at the churchyard, and people are bringing stuff. To the people they're taking stuff, and we are hoping to meet with the entire community maybe next week to bring them abreast of what's happening, because everybody is trying to figure out where we are, our founders of it, and I think St. Vincent has the largest ethnic diaspora on the island right now. So you can imagine what that does for the Vincentian community. Yeah. It's devastating. It is. And it's not just something you just gloss over. And I am very much thankful and grateful for what is being done on behalf of the entire operation. I spoke with the Foreign Affairs Department. We're in contact all the time, foreign ministries, and they're trying their best. But I think as we speak, they're getting supports are going to come in very strongly for the country.
Yeah. I mean,
I was just going to say that St. Vincent has always been there for us, not just in calamity, so to speak, but always in terms of even helping us with the development of our airport, when we were, expanding our airport and so on, helping us with the European Union, how to get funds, assistance, and so on. Although you're so far south of us, you've always I would say successive prime ministers have always been there for BVI. Joseph Van Dyke, Prime Minister Mitchell is a dear friend of Foxy, and but during our hurricanes, who were first to come with linesmen, send linesmen in, and so on. But St. Vincent. So you've always been there for us, and so whatever BVI can do to help in this difficult time, this catastrophic time, we should do, and we're glad that you could make the time to come and extend your own plea for people to help.
And like you said, I remember the Prime Minister Gonsalves sent a badge here, and I was part of the operation to get the stuff to the community. And like you said, Vincentians are this bias. I think Vincentians are the best people around the world after BVI.
very political.
But anyway, go on. What about Anguilla?
Maybe Anguilla is next. But I think what I've seen in the BVI, since this happened, and in the meeting that we have held so far, the ability of coming together and the unifying process that I see, I just want to express that this is beyond. This is tremendous for the BVI community to show such solidarity. And I want to say on behalf of the government, of St. Vincent and Grenadines, to thank you and all the operation that is going on, because the Prime Minister, Mr. Honorable Gonsalves, is a friend of the Honorable O'Neill, who died.
Yes, of course.
So while he was alive, I remember we saw a conversation with both Mr. O'Neill and and Mr. Gonzalez. So that used to be a very good strong. So I am, on behalf of the community, the Vincentians community here, and those abroad and at home, I want to say thank you, a big thank you for what is happening here to really bring us together in such time of difficulty.
Yeah, I mean, it really has been a moving experience on that, like you said, about the unity. I've really felt it because we've both sat in the meetings on, everybody is on the same page. Everybody knows it's not about us, it's about them. And that's really the message that always has been sent is nobody has said, oh, we want to be the largest, we want to be the forefront and things like that. Everybody has said, we need to help St. Vincent, and that's what we're here for. So they said, okay, Rotary, you're great at fundraising. You can help raise funds. Lions, they're great at collecting the items and things. That's what they're there for. Red Cross is there supporting ADRAs. They're supporting Vincentian associations. They're supporting the entire BVI community is there supporting St. Vincent.
And you know, there's some people who can give. I wouldn't point to anybody, but some people in the room they can give a whole lot. But from our church, I'm going to make a pledge. And I'm going to make a pledge, maybe like $500 to our local church towards the process. Because even there have been sanctions there. I mean, there are people who can give $50,000, you know, and stuff like that. but
he's pointing to you.
Yeah. But I'm going to make a pledge. I'm going to make a pledge to also give to the process, you know, because our local church has a lot of intentions that are connected to each other. And you don't know how I want to say a big thank you. A big thank you so much. And I love what is happening.
And we thank you for the pledge as well.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
So,
one of the things I've been wondering about how it's going to be done, we've been told that this first set of goods, the shipment that's going, is going from country to country, and it would not include any individual shipments from individuals to family. So how do you anticipate that that's going to happen?
Well, I think
because I'm sure a number of them are very anxious.
Yes.
A number of Vincentians will be anxious about sending things home.
I have been bombarded by the local people for sending stuff to their families. Because what is happening now with the shipment that is going to go down later, next week or two, that is going to go to NEMO for the emergency shelters. Now, the process that we are told is that the Prime Minister already made a statement that there are 5 organizations, which is the Red Cross, the Rotary Club, the Lions Club, Chamber of Commerce, and any registered religious organization that would be able to accommodate to receive stuff. Because if you got 10,000, there are 110,000 people there, population, and you got 3,000 people in the BVI, 5,000 in Canada. Yeah. If everybody sends a box, it's going to be chaos on the dot.
I remember that for after Irma. We were involved with the logistics after Irma and trying to deal with the personal, the people sending personal packages on top of everything from the international or the national aid. It's overwhelming.
But what I think can happen though is that what I have suggested is that within the confines of the organizational structure, which is the organized religious group. So the group I belong to, which is the New Testament Church of God, is registered. So I would send stuff to that person. He has, the leader in charge has the right to go and get that stuff. So, I mean, there's other boats that are going. So we are walking along with those boats that are going to try to be where we can get for personal stuff, because a lot of people who are not in the shelters are in great need also. So right now they're concentrating on the shelters. But there are other people outskirts of those shelters that are in dire because that ash flow has affected everybody. The water percentage capacity is down to 20% evaporating. So that's in itself is a great need right now, water.
So there's need all around.
Yeah.
So it's, but Bishop Charles, our thoughts and prayers are certainly with everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And we certainly thank you for just taking the time and coming on and anything that Rotary can do to help our brothers and sisters in St. Vincent, please do let us know. As District Governor Charles said, how can we help? And we're here. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you again. Thank you.
Good to see you.
How do I get a pledge to you?
You can. There's people in the back taking pledges, so you can just walk into the back there, and they will be more than happy to help you.
Thank you so
So
much.
you don't even have to use your phone.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And before our next guest, I have a few pledges. Yes, that I would read out. We have from Deborah Romney, $500. Thank you so much, Debbie, for that contribution. We have from, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly,
Adage
Enterprises, $200. Thank you very much for that contribution. And then we have from BCQS International, and I see Laverne Gums, our dear friend here in brackets,
who's actually a Vincentian.
of Vincentian, $1,000. Thank you very much, BCQS Laverne, for this contribution.
You should have a better
Very,
something
very
to make
appreciative.
some noise when this happens.
Yes, we should have thought of
And
that.
I've actually got a text here as well before we call on Jerry. Is that BDO has actually just texted me as well, and BDO has pledged $3,000
Oh, fantastic.
for BDO. So thank you very much, everybody at BDO, for that pledge. That's going to the people at St. Vincent. They send their thoughts and prayers.
Wonderful.
So Jerry, it's good to see you.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Notwithstanding the occasion, in a sense, and what's happening in St. Vincent, but it's good to be part of this whole fundraising exercise.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit. How are you? How has this all affected you, or how? Because you, as essentially as a judge within the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, how do you feel? How are you being impacted from? From what are you seeing?
Well, let me just be clear that this evening I'm not here to speak in any official capacity. I'm really here as Jerry Ferrara, who also is a Rotarian, a long-standing Rotarian.
Past Assistant Governor.
But perhaps more importantly, I'm really here tonight to not only make a contribution on behalf of my family, which by the way I've already done before I came inside, but also to, as it were, lend my voice to this Rotary collaboration in the form of a telethon, and really to the entire national effort, if I may put it that way, to raise funds and to give assistance to the people of St. Vincent, who are now going through a very horrific experience, as Bishop Charles has said, one that is being said that's more akin in terms of the extent of the eruption to the eruption in 1902 and not so much 1979. I have actually spoken with a couple of Vincentians here in BVI who went through the eruption in 79, and they too can attest to the fact that the scale of this eruption, the magnitude of the eruptions, which continue almost on a daily basis, is far greater than it was in 1979. But principally, really, we are all part of humanity. This is a humanitarian crisis of tremendous magnitude. And it really behooves us all as people of the earth, as people primarily of the Caribbean, to come to the aid and the assistance of our brothers and sisters and generally the people of St. Vincent, who, in a sense, this is happening to them now. We know there's some impact also in Barbados and to perhaps a more limited extent in St. Lucia. But the magnitude of the devastation is really being felt by the people in St. Vincent and throughout the country. We cannot, those of us here in the comfort of our homes, we cannot even begin to fathom what they are going through minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day. And the level of impact that this has overall on the economy of the country going forward. And so there is a tremendous need, and of course Rotary, as it has always done in situations where we've had disasters of this sort of magnitude, Rotary has always come together, the Rotary clubs of the BVI, and indeed throughout District 7020 have always come together to do what we can to raise funds. And we've been quite successful as the Rotary clubs in the BVI to do that. And I suppose I would like to appeal, as I said, I have made a donation on behalf of my family already. I would like to further lend my voice to appealing to
yes, I'm hearing you now.
Technology.
Throughout the BVI.
Sorry, we're having some
Perhaps I should stop talking.
No.
Nice.
I would like to lend my voice to, I'm sure, what you three have done already and others have done, to encouraging people throughout the territory and all of the islands to dig deep. I know these are difficult times generally, but it is in difficult times like this that we must really show our humanitarian spirit and come to those who are in need and who are in a far worse off situation than we are. So really, to be honest with you, Ryan, you asked in what way I'm affected by this. I mean, it really has hit me in terms of my spirit, in terms of this being a humanitarian crisis of great magnitude. And I don't think I can put it any differently than that.
But Jerry, as a Rotarian, as a good Rotarian, as a long-standing Rotarian,
Yes.
you have sat several times where we are sitting today and appealed to people to contribute to various disasters. And we are certainly very happy that you were able tonight to come and give this appeal in a shortened fashion to people, and this passionate appeal to people to give generously.
Yes, and I'm certain, Laura, thank you very much for saying that. I'm certain, as you all have said already, that the people in the BVI will step up to the plate and are stepping up to the plate. I believe we have exceeded the sort of minimum goal which was set this evening for this telethon. I think I can say that with having come to the engine room, I can say it with a high degree of confidence. Yeah. But the objective certainly is to do much better than that, and I think we are on our way to doing that. So I want to encourage our listening and viewing audience out there to, in whichever way you can, to make your pledges to this effort, which is a worthwhile effort, and it is one which is a test really of our humanitarian spirit and the continuing spirit of generosity of the people of this country. And we are all people of the Caribbean, and sometimes, it takes disasters of this type to bring to our attention and to underscore for us that we are all people of the Caribbean, and essentially what affects one country, one territory, ultimately will affect us all in some way. Because even if we look at this from a tourism perspective, a volcano eruption in St. Vincent people who are contemplating coming to the Caribbean, sometimes they don't make a distinction. Well, St. Vincent's located here, Jamaica is located here. They say, well, perhaps we should postpone our visit until another year or something of the sort. And even from in terms of physical proximity, look at what's happening in Barbados as a result of what has happened in St. Vincent. So these things must underscore to us as God-fearing people and as people who have a humanitarian spirit and a spirit of great generosity, that what affects one country ultimately can impact us all. We have Vincentians living amongst us. Many of them. They are either the largest, second largest diaspora group in the BVI. And that is very, very significant. And each and every one of us can, in a personal way, point to a Vincentian who are not only someone we know, but I'll go one step further and to say someone who is within our circle, whether it be family or otherwise, in some way, shape, or form, whether it be business or otherwise, in some way, shape, or form. And so it behooves us all in this moment to have the greatest amount of compassion to those people here, because they too, even though they're not physically there, they too are to some extent traumatized by what is happening to their relatives and to their country down in St. Vincent. And so again, that should spur us into action and to be generous and to be given and to, as it were, make sure that our humanitarian spirit is at its fullest in a meaningful way.
I think, Jerry, you'd be happy to hear that people are stepping up to the plate, so to speak, in BVI. In fact, the amount that we have raised is in the region of 49,000.
Yes.
And I
but
have
Lorna, that does not
it doesn't include my you can speak on that. But hold your thought.
Maybe you should speak.
I will call these others prior to that. I have $1,000 from Alfonso Warner Insurance. Thank you so much, Alfonso, my friend, for that generous contribution. I have from Luther Butler of TravelWise, $500. Thank you so much, Luther, for contributing to this important cause. And then, as Bishop Charles said, he was contributing $500 from his church. And again, we thank him. But Jerry, I'm going to insist that you speak on that, this other contribution.
For as far back as one can think of in terms of the functioning of Rotary in the BVI, where we have had to come to the assistance of the BVI itself or persons in the BVI in terms of in times of great need, or we've had to come to the assistance of our brothers and sisters in other Caribbean islands in times of great need and great disaster, natural disasters. We have had the constancy of two individuals who are known to most of us as Rotarians, and whose names we will not mention tonight, because that is not what they want, who have always stepped up to the plate and have provided in a very significant way financially to those efforts to raise money. And this is no exception. In fact, when I was able to get to my phone this afternoon after the Rotary meeting, I saw a number of emails and texts that clearly indicated to me that this generosity was about to be put into action, and they needed me to do something.
Right.
So that has been done. and that would be finalized tomorrow, and that money would hit the bank account. But that is a very substantial sum of money. So I can say with great confidence, not only have we crossed the minimum threshold which was set, but we are now significantly on our way to doubling that. And I would like to see, and I hope and I pray that tonight at least we get to $100,000 with this initiative.
Well, I hope so, with the generosity of, because we're at 59,000, 60,000.
Excellent. Now, should I mention one other thing too, which I think is in keeping with what we have done in the past in these efforts, is that we should tell the folks out there that pledges do not stop tonight.
Mm-hmm. That's an important point.
And they don't start tonight either.
And they didn't start tonight. And they didn't start tonight either. But they don't stop tonight. So, people should feel free tomorrow and in the days ahead to contact Rotarians and to make their pledges and to provide that pledge so that it can be put in as part of the pool and be used in a good way. And I guess the final thing I would say in the time that I'm here is that the Rotary has demonstrated in the past not just its ability to raise funds, but that those funds are indeed put to the proper use through our Rotary clubs and through the District 7020 disaster fund and so on. So people can rest assured that the funds which are raised are going to be put to the proper use because they're being used in a way that is part of not only the local Rotary initiative, but as I understand it, Assistant Governor Ryan, part of the entire district initiative to help St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I think I should say and the Grenadines too, because that's the proper designation of the country, St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Yes. Right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure, as usual, to be with you all here tonight, and I look forward with keen interest to see us reach a goal where at least tonight we double the minimum.
Yes,
goal.
I am sure, like you, I am
think
sure.
we're well on our way, but thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Thank you kindly. And just to repeat, to whet appetites, we are at 59,000
plus.
59,000 plus. And I have a couple more here to read out. Just before we have Mr. Derek King. Correa, is it? Derek Correa join us. You can sit.
Yeah. We're asking sure.
Oh, you're going to have her?
Sure.
Okay. But we have from Mitzi Ellis Simpson, $500. Thank you very much for that, Mitzi. And from Roosevelt and Doreen Smith, we have $300. Thank you very much, Roosevelt and Doreen, for this contribution.
And while we're working on that, I'm just going to unmute my computer because I've been told that that might be part of our issue on Zoom.
Oh, really?
So if you could just maybe scoot just for 2 seconds.
Are they not hearing us there?
No.
Oh dear. No, but it's really wonderful, the response that we're having as of now. It's tremendous.
It's very encouraging.
It's tremendous. It is encouraging.
And what we're going to do until he gets back, we're going to take Dr. Charlene Lewis, who is in
No.
The minister, she's going to do it on Minister from St. Vincent.
Which one are we taking first?
We'll take the minister
Whichever
of
one.
first.
We want to take the minister
Yeah,
first?
we'll take the minister first.
That's fine.
Are we able to get this on?
Are we hearing him?
How are we going to do this?
He's going to hear you, you're going to hear him.
Oh, okay, so we're going to do this on phone.
1, 2.
Yes,
So let me call back direct.
No, we can hear the minister.
We're hearing you.
Minister, we can hear you.
Yes, but let me call you back direct because I would lose internet signal. If I call you back direct, it can be a smooth flowing call.
Fair enough. Okay. We'll wait for your call. Thank you so much, Minister. So while we're waiting for the minister from St. Vincent of Agriculture to call back, we've got two, really almost two guests. But since we've got Derek here. Derek, welcome to the panel.
Let me say how I got why Derek. Derek is here. Derek of the Kings. Derek's dad. We all know Derek's dad is. He's on there, so we'll leave it until later. But I just want to give that as a little background.
Yes, we can. Thank you for joining us.
So first of all, I want to thank Almighty God from whom all blessings flow. Definitely it has been a very challenging period for us. I want to thank God for his sparing mercies. The situation is very bad, but it could have been far worse. And I know that there are persons who are praying all over the world. And I want to say that even though there is a situation that we are grappling with here that is enormous, that our faith is going to see us through. Because the prayers of the saints availeth much. And the solidarity of the Caribbean people, the solidarity of the hemispheric support, and the global solidarity, definitely acts of humanity coming to our shores. They're definitely assisting us in coping with the situation. We have several thousand persons in shelters. We have persons who have evacuated from their homes and have moved in with family members and friends. And outside of that, we have persons within the general communities who, because their business places were damaged or they were employed with someone and the business place is closed, have become vulnerable. And at this moment, we are addressing the issue of food security, because there are three fundamental pillars of food security. Food has to be affordable, accessible, and available. And we are working to ensure that is taken care of. The first, in national food security standpoint, is to stabilize the food at the shelters, and that has been going quite well. And the persons of different communities adopting different families, and it's just an outpouring of love, and that is helping the situation significantly. From the standpoint of agriculture, we have divided the whole period into about 4 phases. The first phase, we ensured that before the volcano erupted, we moved as many government assets out of the red zone from agriculture. And also we assisted people in the private sector who had their animals, who had their equipment in the red zone. We helped them to move them out of the red zone. But we were able to move probably about 60%. The rest is still there in the red zone and it's heavily impacted upon by ash. And the recovery work continues to move items out of the red zone. Phase 2 is the food security phase, because feeding the nation is critical and first importance. The Vincent and the Grenadines is known as the breadbasket of the Southern Caribbean. We have a very deep-seated, strong-rooted agriculture sector. And today we started a food package program whereby farmers will reap their produce and bring it to a central place where it is then redistributed. The next phase, which will begin tomorrow, is the assessment of damage and loss. So we have not yet assessed the damage done and the loss, and we have to take into consideration that the volcano is still erupting, and the losses will continue, and the damage is continuous. but we are going to begin some preliminary work tomorrow. And it's going to be, I mean, I don't look forward to going into the red zone, certain parts of the red zone tomorrow and certain parts of the safe areas, because the entire agriculture sector was significantly affected because of the heavy ashfall that we had throughout the country. And the phase 4, which is the last phase, which I don't know when exactly that will come, is a return to a state of normalcy in the agriculture sector and basically in the country.
So thank you, Minister, for that. It's, I mean, it brings tears to my eyes to hear the stories from you on how you're impacted, and certainly from all of us in the BVI, we certainly are praying for you and for everybody in St. Vincent. And as you hopefully have heard on the radio down there in St. Vincent, that we're well on our way to reaching great goals for providing funding to persons in St. Vincent to provide supplies through Rotary, who we understand are there on the ground working side by side with NEMO, with the government, and all the other organizations to make sure that the people in St. Vincent are being taken care of. So.
Yes, and I really want to thank Sean Rose, because I had just come in from it was about 10 minutes ago. So Sean Rose called me and made me aware of the fundraising program that you have, and I really want to thank you and everyone who has donated, made their pledges. Really want to thank you on behalf of the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And you will be in contact with NEMO, so as you said already, so that you can channel these things properly, so that we can organize to have them.
Well, we thank Sean Rose as well, because it's really good to hear from you, Minister.
Yes. And
so we can get a very direct view on what is happening in St. Vincent. And it is our pleasure, and we thank you for in the past helping the British Virgin Islands through the difficulties that we have experienced most recently.
It warms my heart. It warms my heart because it's just like yesterday. I remember landing on Beef Island, and when we were about to land, I could not believe that it was Beef Island that we were landing on. When the whole place, all the trees were gone, the airport was destroyed, and I really want to say a pleasant night to all our brothers and sisters in the BVI. The entire BVI. I don't want to start to call names. I'm not going to call a single name. I must say, I am assured that there are people who are praying. Because if it wasn't for the prayers and the hard work and dedication of people who are out there, I could not laugh the way I just laughed. In the midst of the disaster.
Right.
And thanks for being there to help us shoulder this. And there's a saying in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, today for you, tomorrow for me.
Exactly. We say that too.
Tomorrow is yours and today is mine.
Amen.
We say that too.
Mr. Minister.
Thanks again for taking the time out.
Yeah.
For helping us. Okay?
Before you go, let me just say, you mentioned that St. Vincent is known as the breadbasket for the Southern Caribbean, but here in the BVI, a lot of provisions have come in from St. Vincent on a very regular basis. So imagine that we would feel the impact of this volcano in that regard as well. So we will miss that, and we hope that it won't be too long before things come back in agriculture.
Yes, I'm working all day, I'm working all night, and I'm telling you, the farmers are back out there already.
Fantastic.
It's not gone completely from us, but the farmers are very resilient, and the sector is going to rebound, and we are going to rebuild better.
That's our Caribbean people. Yeah. Very resilient. Don't give up. And we're very happy that we have two of your radio stations joining us. Nice and an FM1. We're very happy. We FM and Nice, and we're very grateful for that.
Yes.
So thank you very much, Mr. Minister.
Yes.
Thank
All
you.
right, so thanks and God bless.
Same
Thank
to
you.
you.
Same
Stay,
to you.
stay safe,
All
Mr.
right.
Minister.
Bye-bye.
All right.
All right, so very interesting.
Yes, and before I have some updates, because don't forget we're raising money I have from Parts and Power, Tom and Barbara Gurka, $1,000. So thank you very much, Tom
Thank you,
and
Tom.
Barbara.
Thank you very much.
We really need a bell to ring for all these contributions. And I also have people, and AG Ryan, you need to call those numbers again, because I think that people are not getting the numbers and not seeing the numbers. Because I have here some more pledges from past President Leroy Moses, $250, Javonte Kroll, $20, Dominic Ward, $20, Marvin St. John, $25, Neil Dabrio, $25, and Sherlyn John, $25. I'm reading out those small numbers, especially to say again, to reiterate that every penny counts. And no amount is too small or too large.
Every donation is quality.
Exactly.
Every
So
donation
thank
is
you
quality.
all, led by PP Leroy, for that contribution.
And I'll quickly call out the numbers again, just so people can continue. So 284 for those persons who are calling outside the BVI. So dial 1284 and then the numbers that I'm calling out: 542-6434, 542-0192, 541-7460, 541-3712, 541-5741, 541-3346, 541-8372, 541-0555, 541-2899, or 541-2698. So if you call any of those numbers and you get a busy signal, please call another one of those numbers.
Yeah.
And there's great Rotarians on the other end of the phone wanting to take your information and your pledges so that they go directly to St. Vincent.
And there's one other donation that I cannot forget. It's a donation of $1,000 from the estate of the late past President Elton George's. And it is in his memory. We definitely needed that bell. We are so grateful for this contribution from the estate of the late Mr. Elton George's.
So thank you very much for the George's family for that. I guess we're lining up with persons, but since we have Derek here, let's first go to Derek, and then I'm going to call Charlene because we still having Zoom issues. So it looks like we're going to do this the old-fashioned way from now on. We're going to start calling people. The Premier is going to call in as well. Okay.
So let's go.
So Derek, welcome.
Yes, lovely to see you.
I know I was going to introduce Derek because I wanted to say when I called Z King, Derek was so enthusiastic about joining up for this telethon. And he reminded me about his dad, who I know very well, Mr. Alric Correa, who's a
member of our
Rotary
Club,
yes. And he came here, he will tell you himself, at a young age. And the BVI has been good to him, has been very good to his family. And so I said, thank you, Derek, for giving us Z King, and please come and give us your perspective. So Derek?
Thanks for inviting me, and it's a pleasure hosting you guys on Z King. Well, as you mentioned, my father came here at only age 21, and he made the BVI his home. He's here 50 odd years now.
Wow.
You missed out something very important. He took onto himself a BVI bride.
That's
True.
right.
That's true. My late mother, Judith Titley Correa. But after you mentioned that, I'll give you a little brief history. He was not to come here. He came here to go to St. Croix.
Wow.
And the plane landed here, and he met my mother in Rotan.
Oh, wow.
When he went to St. Croix, he told his aunt that he don't like St. Croix. And he wants, she said, well, you just come and you haven't gone anywhere. She said, come and talk to me. And they sat down and he said, well, I met somebody in Tortola, and he came back here.
Just like that?
Just like that.
Wow.
Yeah, and he made the BVI his home for 54 years. Unfortunately, my dad is still alive, but he has Alzheimer's. I know he was a proud Rotarian. The BVI has been well to him, and he has contributed a lot here in the BVI. And I know if he was coherent, he would have been contributing to the disaster in St. Vincent. So today, me and my siblings and Correa's business has contributed $4,000 with water from Pepsi Cola in Puerto Rico. And tonight I'm going to donate from Z King $1,500. And my brother also matched that from Correa's business, another $1,500.
Oh, wow.
Fantastic.
So we have a trailer coming in with paper products and other stuff that should be here this weekend. So we're gonna donate from that toilet paper, toiletries, and whatever.
Yeah.
So we'll be donating so far about $10,000.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
And it will be, I know this volcano is still active, so as God permits us, we'll still be contributing as best we can.
Wonderful.
And if you need the registration at any time, just
Many thanks.
mention it and I'll facilitate it.
Thank you so
very
much.
And I want to thank Mr. King for making the 2 registrations in St. Vincent one live. He was instrumental in that.
Okay.
The manager for Z King, Mr.
Okay,
Rafi
Rafi King, yes, that's why I can
That's
call it
wonderful.
King.
Yes.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Thanks
All
for
right,
that.
thanks.
Yes.
Thanks for inviting
Okay.
me.
And
Yeah.
thanks for your continued contribution
Yes.
within the BVI,
Correct.
which is
And I
tremendous.
would like to say to the general public, continue to give, because we are not in control of this. God is in control, and we don't know when it's going to end. But as the Prime Minister of St. Vincent would say, we are one Caribbean and one people.
Amen.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, thank you so
very
much,
much.
Derek. I've got good news. I think we've got sound figured out.
We have sound figured out.
Thank you.
Is it that one with the blue shirt on?
The one dancing,
Oh,
the one
the one
dancing.
dancing.
You can't see it on camera, but if you can get a camera turned around on him, you would. So I think we've got sound. David Edwards, can you just give a message online if you're hearing us now?
Thank you, Akimo.
So I think we've got sound. Do we have sound?
David, are you hearing us?
Is it sorted, Akimo?
Hello.
Oh, there we go. Are we hearing it? Yes, good. So, David, we'll get to you in a second, but right now we've actually got mute. We're still doing tech stuff, so excuse me. I'm just squeeze in there a little bit.
We have someone out of St. Vincent, right?
Yes, that's
Charlene. Dr. Charlene Lewis. Oh, David is on.
David is on too.
All right, we should be.
Which one are we going with first?
All right, so we've got people lined up. So, but we'll go first to Dr. Charlene Lewis, who's there on the ground in St. Vincent. Dr. Lewis, good to see you. Welcome.
Hi, good night.
Good evening.
Good evening.
From afar.
But you're still very close in our minds, Dr. Lewis.
Hi, Charlene.
So,
hi, guys.
So,
I am.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just saying I'm so happy to have been invited to be part of this venture. First of all, I've been dancing around the Rotary family for a little bit, but this is very convincing. For
It's my
everything that I go
duet.
through in terms of service above self. I mean, Rotary family is really proving themselves, and I'm just really happy to see all this outpouring of love. I was following along on Facebook, seeing all the comments coming in from all the persons. We're very grateful, all the donations and everything that are coming in, because those donations are going to come in very handy. Listening to the Prime Minister give his address every morning, his updates every day, along with the seismologists and all the heads of the various, essential services. This is going to be a long road ahead. And it's not over, because the volcano has not stopped. Up to last night, we had some rumblings going on up at the volcano. It was not as productive as much ash as there was before. What we're looking at now is, and I'm going to call a really big word, guys, that I had to learn. It's called pyroclastic flows.
It's a tongue twister.
Never heard that before. My geology went somewhere behind, when I was in high school, so I'm learning all these words again. But it was, these flows now are like hot ash and gases that are coming out from the volcano, and they don't know when that will stop. So what we're looking at is a situation where we had over 16,000 persons being evacuated from the northern end of the island, and now they're relocated down into the south. I heard them say this morning, according to NEMO, the National Emergency Office, is that we have about 4,000 people in shelters, and we have about 6,000 people that are actually registered with NEMO that are staying with friends and family. And it's going to be a very dire situation. I actually went down to one of the shelters, which is right across the street from my house at my old high school. The school is completely filled with evacuees. And I was speaking to a gentleman who's from one of those areas and telling him, according to what I heard on the radio, we really don't know when you guys are going to be able to go back. As Mr. Ferrara was saying, everybody thought that this was going to be the 1979 eruption, which I was around for, but I really don't remember because I was a baby. But it's a lot worse than the 1979 one. They're saying 1902, but we have no idea when this is going to be over. So, in speaking to them, they don't know when they're going to be able to go back to their homes, if they have homes to go back to. And so we're really looking at, really trying to relocate 16,000 people. Now, that's half the population of the BVI. So, thereabouts. So, this is going to be a big, really big endeavor. So everything that we can get, every help that we can get is going to be put to good use.
Yeah. So, Sherilyn, you've been working a lot in the shelters since you got there. How are people coping in the shelters?
As best they can is all I can really say, because, as you've heard tonight, Vincentians are very resilient people. I remember looking outside and seeing this, on the second day of ash, I kid you not, this lady was outside every 10 minutes trying to sweep away ash. They're really not trying to let things stop them, and they really want to get back to building back up the country. But it's just not safe for them to go to those areas right now. And so they're really looking at, okay, the shelters are one thing, but how do we now have to relocate all of these persons? And remember, this is not just, adults, we're talking children. The shelter just below, there's a 6-month-old baby that we see every day with her parents. And, it's just really awesome to see the way the kids are actually adjusting to being now, they're kind of in town and they're in the capital. My son is here with me, and he saw the volcanic ash, and he's like, volcanic ash. Thankfully, they really don't understand, and they were able to get out in time so they didn't feel the danger. But being in a shelter, serious effects on them. I know that the Seventh-day Adventist Church today pledged 1,200 meals every day, 600 meals twice a day for a month to be able to be donated. And NEMO is working a lot with the shelters, but they do have persons registered in private homes, and so they have been trying to get supplies out, but it's a big endeavor. This is a huge endeavor. So, as much as they can get from the outside, we're so grateful for to be able to get right now.
Sherilyn, have you seen Rotary on the ground?
If I've seen, sorry?
Rotary. Have you had any interaction with Rotary there? The Rotary clubs on the ground?
I have not yet. I actually do plan to reach out to them. I've been seeing people coming and donating at the shelters. Mm-hmm. Even my niece, who is in pre-med right now, she's back home from school in Jamaica, and she's actually going out with a group of young people who purchase items from the supermarket and actually go out personally to the shelters to deliver, and to, you know, people who they know have been relocated. And, you know, there are a few endeavors like that where, you know, churches are getting together and they're doing donation drives. Even in St. Vincent, we have donation drives. I mean, we on the South have been very lucky. We did get ash cover on Saturday, so we were completely covered. It looked like a desert scene. Even when the ash settled from falling from the sky, which looked like snow, you looked around when the wind blew, it kicked it up and it looked like a sandstorm coming towards you. It was absolutely crazy on Saturday. Sunday got a little better. It's been getting a little better. Luckily for us, again, in the South, the rains have helped to wash some of it away, but in the northern part of the country, where the ashfall was so thick, it has collapsed some of the weaker roofs that were built. You know, my son's girlfriend's family lives up in the orange zone. As you guys know, that's really close to the red zone and very much in a highly volatile area right now. And she said the ash cover is horrendous. They really had a lot of roofs collapse, and they have been working in their villages together to actually get the ash off of people's roofs just to make sure it's safe in case the rains come. And now we're praying for rain to come and wash all this ash away, but we're going into the dry season. So we're looking at, you know, from my point of view, from a medical point of view, we're looking at respiratory issues. We're looking at all those persons with sinus issues, with asthma, bronchitis, you know, our more vulnerable populations, our elderly, our children, you know, that they're going to be suffering. In our hospital, I worked here, you know, before I came to the BVI, and I know that we're always stretched very thin when it comes to resources. So whatever is being sent, especially in terms of like the monetary donation that you guys are raising tonight, is going to be able to go towards purchasing medical supplies and equipment. I've also been able to go out with a group of local St. Vincent doctors that are going around to the different shelters and just doing health checks and making sure everybody's up to date with their medication, no significant issues. So yeah, I mean, we definitely try to help each other out here.
Well, we certainly thank you, Charlene. We wish you well. We've got a few people lined up behind you as well. So we'll let you go because I know you still have you're still dealing with your family over there. But we thank you for calling in.
Charlene.
And all your.
Oh, can I just say to
Miss
Lorna?
Yes, ma'am.
I saw the broadcast last night about the vaccines, and
yes.
I'm just so thankful that you guys are still raising that awareness, because we have had a few cases of COVID in shelters and in private homes where persons are being housed here. So we're not out of the pandemic times. We still have to be very mindful that we're still in COVID times. So we have been promoting, you know, mask wearing, which is, you know, double efficacy right now in terms of the ash and the dust.
Yeah.
But definitely we have to be promoting our vaccines because we need that extra layer of protection, especially now.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Charlotte.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Charlotte.
You guys have a blessed night, and thank you so much.
You too. Stay safe, Charlotte.
I'm trying.
We'll be in touch.
See you soon.
All right,
Bye.
take care.
All right. In the meantime, just to remind people about the pledges, I know that we have a couple of people lined up.
Yeah.
You have the numbers, the phone numbers.
Yeah, let me quickly read the phone numbers out, and then we'll get to the honorable premier.
I think the premier was. Oh, he's there.
He's still there, listening intently. So let me
read the first five or the last five, not all of them.
Let me just read the first five again. The last five. It started with 284. So 541-3346, 541-8372, 541-0555, 541-2899, and 541-2698. So again, we have Rotarians manning the phones, waiting for your calls.
Yes,
so please don't delay and make your pledge now.
Show your love. Show your love.
Show BVI love, and that's show BVI love to St. Vincent. So that's a great, I guess, a great segue. we bring on the Honourable Premier now, who's been waiting intently. So, Honourable Premier, hopefully you can unmute your mic, because I know you've got a busy. There we go. Honourable Premier, welcome. It's good to see you and it's good to hear you.
Well, I was seeing you before, but now it's good to hear you.
Thank you for being patient.
Good. I've been here quite a while, and there was a little technical difficulty, but it was worth hanging in. I just enjoyed the interview that we just had, and I would just want to say God blessings and good evening to everyone. I want to congratulate the Rotary family, as I said, for once again stepping up to the plate and showing true BVI love and helping our brothers and sisters in St. Vincent and Grenadines in a time of urgent need. We'll also know that during Hurricane Irma and right after Maria, that the government and people of St. Vincent helped the BVI tremendously, and they were really a tall strength to our government of the day at that time and to the people. And they did send a little bit of aid to us, even right down to the coconut trees and some.
That's right.
That's right.
They help us get going again. Know that at this time that we can reciprocate and help them, not only because they help us, but because that's our nature as people of the Virgin Islands. So I commend Rotary tremendously and all the other civic organizations. I want to join the call before, because we are advocating to educate so that you don't procrastinate, so that you vaccinate. So I also want to thank you for the sessions that you had. I was able to view it on replay, and it's so important because I firmly believe it's the one most credible option that we have to be able to save lives and balance lives with livelihoods. And at this time when you have us dealing with COVID-19 as well as the rest of the world, and we think that we really have pressures on our economy and on our lives and our businesses, families, etc. But then to know that St. Vincent and the Grenadines is dealing with that plus a volcano, that is something that you cannot fathom. I was telling someone here someday, there's no one here can truly understand what's happening in St. Vincent. And if you want a reference point, it is as if any one of us who went through Irma and Maria, especially Irma, trying to explain it to someone that was not here.
It's true.
No matter how hard you try, you can't get, you won't be able to fully help them to capture the monster that passed through here, where you saw cars flying in the air, boats. I literally saw a boat in the air, trees that were big and huge in there before you were born. When you come out, the tree was not only up to the ground, it totally disappears as if it just took off. And so many things that we saw, but you can't do justice to describe those things to persons who are not here. And the same for those in St. Vincent at this time. I mean, we heard just now that the ash, they were sweeping ash every 10 minutes, and when the wind comes, it's like a sandstorm. But hearing is one thing, but unless you're there experiencing, and then the shelter, and then you have over 6,000 persons there, as we were hearing, in one of the shelters at least, and then persons are feeding them all the time. So that's not an easy initiative to feed persons every single day for that amount. So that's why these efforts are important. And we must be able at these times, which we always do, is to make sure that we concentrate on the areas that unite us. So I just want to encourage you, each of you. I've already pledged my money, and to some of my money, not my money. And from on behalf of my wife and I, and also pledged it to different organizations, so I had to split it up. Mm-hmm. But I know the importance of giving at this time, not just giving to be known as giving, but giving because you have to do it from your heart, which is what all of you are doing from here tonight, especially with all the numbers and if you don't give tonight, is because you just naturally fell asleep. It can't be that you don't want to, because with all the information that's out there from y'all, you can't miss anything. So I want to commend you on properly organizing it. So I want to thank you all so much. From my government members, I have WhatsApp them, make sure that they also donate, and they're donating, and some of them Rotarians, some are Lions, but I told them, no matter what you are, make sure that we give, because you never know when it will be our turn again, and we pray not. You never know whose turn it will be, but as we say in the Caribbean, we're separate as fingers, but one as a hand. So we want to continue to support each other, because that's what we're made of in the Caribbean.
Thank you so much, Premier. Well put. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Thank you very much, Mr. Premier. It was such a pleasure having you on to offer words of encouragement and support. Thank you so much. And your big pledge. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. And with the beautiful Miss Lana Smith there, Miss take a watch and don't give the money. You all just don't have to say anything. Radio alone.
As I said in the beginning, I'm a thorn between two roses. So.
Indeed, we thank you for the encouragement, and we are delighted to be doing this. And you've reminded me that I too have to make my pledge.
Boy.
So I'm glad you mentioned that you've made your pledge, because I haven't made mine yet. But thank you for that.
I might add, since you mentioned the forum that we had the other night, we're on the verge of putting together a PSA, a public service announcement, with the same thing in mind, to encourage more uptake with the vaccination here in the BVI, because we do need to get vaccinated. So thank you so much again for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you so much, Honourable Premier, and for your government and all you've been able to do through us.
And thank you for being a thorn through the roses, but you're still
All right. So we're going to do a joint now. We've got on the line both our district governor nominee who's actually in St. Vincent, along with our disaster chair within the district that includes St. Vincent, which is our district, what we call District 7030, Mr. David Edwards. So let's go live and direct both to Barbados and to St. Vincent, and wish both good evening. David, you've been very patient this entire evening, listening half of the time with no audio. And so hopefully you can hear us. You can hear us now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. And Brian, I see you still on mute as well, District Governor nominee. There we go. So it's a pleasure to see you again. It's been several years since the last time I think I've seen you.
Well, good to see you as well, and thanks for having us on your program.
So first, let's go first to David. You lead, or you have led for the last, well, you said since 1982, disaster efforts throughout the Caribbean. Give us a sense from the monetary side, when these funds get into the district or the disaster account, how are you distributing them? How does that work?
Thanks, Ryan, and thanks to all Rotarians in the BBA and members of the public. Certainly your Honourable Premier, who was just on. Thanks for what you're doing for us in 7030 in this. So yeah, quickly I will share with you our sort of methodology. First up, in events like this, we deal usually in the first 2 weeks or so is what I personally call sort of the food and water type response, because that's what's needed at this time. But quickly we move out of that, and as things generally, I think someone mentioned earlier that hurricane is 4 hours a day or out of that. In this case, with the volcano, tomorrow is a week that it's been going on. So it's a little different. So as soon as we get out of that initial phase, then we try to change to meet the needs of what the country needs at the time, because to a large extent we have in our vision that the country has to continue its economic activity, and the best way to do that is to have money that we can, so that businesses in the country can buy goods and services that they need within the country, rather than just in a way pile up the poor, as we say, sometimes with things that are not necessarily needed over more than a short-term period. So we look at the initial phase, which normally, as I said, would be in that 2-week area, although the volcano is slightly different. We will monitor that as the volcano finishes. After that, we look at trying to use the money to rebuild whatever we think is the most pressing at the time that someone else may not be doing. Because, of course, government has its own agenda as well. And, there's some other agencies that may come in, some bigger international agencies that may come in and take on projects. So do something that someone else is not doing. But typically, we would be interested in the age and children, that type of thing, special needs. That's where we sort of try to drop in and use our funds on the ground.
Okay. So, Brian, how is Rotary collaborating on the ground in St. Vincent right now? What are you seeing from the clubs? What are they up to these days?
Enjoyed the message from your premier. And, thanks to the entire Rotary family of BVI. So our Rotary family in St. Vincent includes the Rotary Club of St. Vincent, that's the one I belong to, the Rotary Club of St. Vincent South, and the Rotaract Club of Kingston, which, as you know, is the younger group. Essentially what we've been doing, we've been coordinating firstly donations, monetary donations coming in. We've been coordinating shipments of water and food products coming in from neighboring islands, and these have been substantial. And we've been working along with NEMO, which, as you know, is the National Emergency Organization. It's important at this time that we work along. It's not a competition, obviously. So we assist NEMO when and as required, and we cooperate with NEMO on arrival of materials and so on. We assist them with transportation and so on as well. Fortunately, we've been able to get access to our own warehouse, and a businessman named Ozzy Vera, who I'm sure a number of Vincentians in the BVI may know, has graciously given us access to a fairly decent-sized warehouse. Basically, he just handed us the keys and said, no charge. And from that warehouse, we've set up a control system. So we actually have, it's staffed by Rotarians, Rotaractors, and Friends of Rotary. So from that warehouse, we bring in supplies, and we've been doing a number of things. We've been distributing directly to the shelters. For example, today we distributed water to practically every single shelter on the island. We also receive food products, which we allocate between the shelters and also the families that have taken in evacuees outside the shelters. As you recognize, there are a number of people staying at residences. But I think what we've been able to do, as you'd appreciate, there are a number of large corporate donors. And, the watchword these days is accountability, corporate responsibility. Nobody just wants to hand a Rotary Club a check for $10,000 and not have an idea of how that check is spent, or if that check is in fact reaches the people in the shelters. So we've set up an accountability mechanism where a donor who makes a contribution can actually discuss with us how they would like that contribution to be applied to those who are affected. And we are working with a fairly large, extremely large corporation out of Trinidad, for instance. And the expectation is that we will prepare an accountability statement indicating exactly how that money was spent, which shelters received items, what items were received in the shelters. And, that's important for donors, because when donors understand and appreciate that the money that they supply to us is actually reaching those people who are directly affected, apart from the fulfillment of knowing that they are actually helping to alleviate the pain of the suffering from the volcano, it actually encourages them to continue to donate because they are confident that their donations are being applied where they want it to go. So we're doing quite a bit of that. I know it's only been 4 days, but just about every single member of the 3 clubs I mentioned are involved in one way or another. Some club members are actively working. Some have the ability or time to be involved in the day-to-day working, but they, on the other hand, would either contribute money or resources to the efforts of Rotary. So the Rotary presence in St. Vincent is definitely very visible. And I think just like family in BVI, our Rotary family here in St. Vincent is certainly making its mark. At the same time, I think we recognize that, as David mentioned, there are short-term needs which we think we are working with NEMO and the other organizations, the Lions Club, Red Cross, just about every single organization and well-minded individuals are involved. It's not just the Rotary Club, it's everyone. We are just part of the national effort. But we recognize that there are short-term needs and, having an appreciation for the sort of damage that the volcano has done. There's been substantial infrastructural damage. Those of you who know St. Vincent, bridges on the way to Owia and Fancy, I understand, have been destroyed. So the only way to reach certain communities in the country at the moment is by boat. So at some point in time, there will be a need to address the long-term infrastructural requirements. So apart from addressing the immediate needs of those who are affected, we are also in the process of fortifying ourselves for the long haul. Well, David has been in this for 40 years, so, which is a very long time dealing with emergencies, so he's been excellent.
Well, Brian, I guess from all of us in the BVI, we certainly, our thoughts and prayers are certainly with you and your Rotary clubs and everybody in St. Vincent. And thank you for all the hard work that you're doing alongside, as you said, Lions, Red Cross, and other organizations as we're working together over here in the BVI. And we wish you well. We'll stay in touch. And certainly with all of these funds raised, we know that they're going to go to the correct locations because both you and David are involved in being involved for you, especially being a former accountant. You certainly know the accountability side, the transparency side, and David has been in this longer than almost I've been alive. So we certainly thank both of you for all you're doing, and we'll, like I said, we'll keep in touch. So, but we're running short on time, so I'll let both of you go. I know it's getting. Okay, we're.
Thank you, David. Thank you, DGND Brian. Lovely to have you on. And as Ryan said, we know we can depend on you.
Our pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. We've got a special guest, an unexpected special guest, but a familiar face to most people in the BVI. It's been a long time since we see him, but we've got Sean Rhodes on the line. Sean, you hear us? I think you're muted right now. This could be from.
She took over.
Yeah. Sean, you can hear us. You just have to unmute yourself. Oh, there we go.
No, I didn't realize you wanted me in here so quickly, so you caught me by surprise.
Apologies, Sean. It's good to see you again.
No apologies at all. I want to say good evening to everyone. In fact, I'm not surprised you caught me by surprise, because I recall in 2013, my good friend, Rotary Delma Maduro, caught me by surprise, and she said, Sean, we have to do a press conference. And she summoned me to Rotary Wholesale in the conference room, and there began what I would always remember as one of the most phenomenal efforts to assist people in our homelands in Vincent at the time, after the Christmas Eve floods of 2013. So good evening as well to my good friend Lorna Smith. I saw my good friend Vance Lewis a while ago.
Yeah.
Yes, and I said, but if this goal is 50,000, they're gonna knock this up with people like Vance around.
Well, you'll be happy to know we've knocked it out of the park already, but we're still going.
Yes, I've been following. I was happy to hear Minister Caesar taking my humble advice and calling in to express gratitude and really sharing with you from the ministry's perspective how things are on the ground, particularly as it relates to agriculture, and we all know how important agriculture is to St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the Caribbean. It's really phenomenal. Earlier on, as I listened, I heard some of the comments, and I got teary-eyed, because what you're doing here, Rotarian family in BVI, is just phenomenal. It's just remarkable. It is something that we ask, and I ask myself, if we can do these things at these times, in times of adversity, we saw Hurricane Irma and how we responded, and the brotherhood, the solidarity in our region. What can we do? What else can we achieve? And I'm hoping that something I've always been passionate about comes into reality and becomes a prominent part of our Caribbean calendar. That is, when I first came to BVI in 2006, shortly thereafter, I was working at Ziking Radio, I would recall, and I want to say good evening to Mr. Corey and the Corey family, and I too appreciate the contributions coming from the Corey family, as I heard a while ago. That is really significant and commendable as well. But there was an event called BVI USBI Friendship Day, and I said, this thing is enviable, we need to replicate this. And I asked members of my association at the time, I was president of the SDG BVI Association with people like Bishop Ishmael Charles. I saw him, I listened to him a while ago as well. And we discussed the idea that we hope one day we can solidify this family tie, this friendship, this deep-rooted connection between BVI and St. Vincent and the Grenadines by having a BVI SDG Friendship Day.
There we go.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed. and coming out of this. Huh?
So
why not?
Why
not?
What
happened?
Exactly. And coming out of this this situation in particular, when I'm sure many people in the BVI would really want to see how St. Vincent looks after this particular volcanic eruption. If you've never been there, I'm sure many people would like to go and see. And hopefully this volcano goes back to sleep. We refer to her as Mama Soufriere. We are advised that in Spanish is male, and in French is male, and Spanish is female. So we prefer to say Mama Soufriere because we treat her with that level of respect. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to live with a volcano, it's another thing to live with an erupting volcano.
True.
And St. Vincent and the Grenadines, there we have a monster, a beast, because she's one of the youngest and the most dangerous volcanoes in the entire chain of islands, spanning some 11 islands with 17 active volcanoes. And I have been reading a lot about 1902. And in fact, on JTV recently, I commented on what took place in 1902 in terms of the response to the activity at La Soufriere. That began pretty much on May 5th, 1902, and erupted on May 7th, and there was significant loss of life at the time. Because we didn't have the response mechanisms, the expertise at the time, obviously. All the population was some 44 or about 1,000 people. The response was far different, as we can anticipate, but the level of responsiveness this time around in St. Vincent has been tremendous. And of course, there is always room for improvement and so forth. But generally speaking, the population cooperated and got out of the red zone, and we haven't had a loss of life. No. And for me, that is commendable.
Sean, that's what I was thinking. I was saying, it's been a very tragic situation, but nobody's died. So that's the best thing about it. So we have to be thankful for God's mercies. But we have a few pledges. I'm sorry, we have a few more pledges we have to call in.
Wonderful to see you, Sean.
Lovely to see
Thank you so much.
Lovely to be in touch.
Let me go and let me just say thank you again. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the people who insisted that I should call in tonight to say thank you. I'm really grateful on behalf of my people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I'm in Florida and doing pretty much what you're doing as well.
Oh, okay.
Because all right. We just shipped on a container today, and more of that is going to go in.
We appreciate your contribution. Okay, if I may just call in a few. Love you too. Thank you. The contributions keep coming. We have from Big Brother Gas Station contribution, a pledge of $1,000. That is huge, and we're really appreciative.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Big Brother Gas Station. Drum roll. Then we have from Richie Linden of Nottingham Estate, $500. Thank you, Richie Linden, for that contribution. We are very much appreciative of that.
Nice.
Well done.
And we have the Church of the Islands, $1,000. So the money is really coming in, Janet Oliver, $1,000.
Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't like that one. Okay.
One what? 1 million?
We've been on so long, my eyes are getting blurry. So.
But no, there are quite a few coming in.
Yeah,
so we have to make sure that these are acknowledged. We are very grateful for all of them. We have a pledge from Delma and Audrey Maduro and family, $500. Are these things going to be?
And Shonda.
Shonda
give another $150.
Really, I didn't see that one.
Yes, she
Shonda, $150.
Shonda Maduro.
All the way from New York.
All the way from New York.
So we're getting people from everywhere. So.
We're very grateful to you for that. And I myself am pledging from my husband Orlando and me $500.
Keep coming in.
I also have, I should mention, from Dave, these have been added already. Mary and Dennis Carmody from Sugar Mill, a contribution together with her and Chris and Eric Ball, $700. So
Wonderful.
we are very, very grateful to all of you for this contribution. And from our newest Rotarian today, and real $500.
Oh, lovely.
Very, very
Service
grateful
of
to add.
ourselves.
Yes, definitely. So I think at this point we could
We wrap up, I guess.
Wrap up.
Because
But before we do that, I haven't heard anything about the contribution by Roland last night.
That would be it. That would
that would be added in. They requested numbers. So,
okay.
Yeah. So we've added an additional a number of anonymous contributions from persons. So
do we know what our total is?
We'll get the total while we're going through the thank yous. We'll get you a total because everybody's probably waiting on bated breath to see where we are right now.
Right.
And as we said during the telethon, don't stop if you haven't called tonight and you all of a sudden realize tomorrow morning, you know what, I should have done it. You still can.
Yes.
So email us or see Rotarians, or I think maybe call one of those numbers. But let us know, and we'll happy to take your pledges because they really do need it. Because this has been an overwhelming show of support from the BVI.
But
really
last night at the Rotary Club of Rotown, a total of $720 was raised in happy dollars to go towards this effort.
Wow.
$720.
Well, I'm hearing that we have about $90,000. We could have done the
It's going to go over.
We are going to
go over.
yes, $90,000
Yeah.
we have raised, and that is tremendous. I'm not preempting you in terms of your thank you, but there are a number of people who have contributed who want to remain anonymous.
Right.
Yeah.
A number of companies, individuals, and so on. And to those silent, good corporate citizens, individuals, we as a Rotary family want to say express our deepest gratitude to you for your generosity in this time of need for the people of St. Vincent.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's overwhelming.
It has been amazing. I too would like to add words of thanks to everyone who would have contributed tonight and who will continue to contribute. I think well into next week or even beyond, we may be getting some contributions. So a huge, huge thank you to all. And we must say a big shout out to AG, who really put a lot of effort behind this.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, AG, and the entire team, including, of course, PAG Lorna, who does quite a lot of work in advance in terms of raising a lot of solid funds in advance of tonight, as she would generally do. And then, of course, there are the other efforts that are happening out there, and we want to recognize the Lions. I mentioned Bobby's earlier, who I know did some major donations.
All of them. One Mart has done a lot.
Yes, I know that Rightway company affiliated. They have done, not Rightway, sorry, RTW, Virgin Wholesale Trading. They have done quite a bit too of direct shipments from their from the US into St. Vincent. So a lot is happening, and so it goes to show the kind of love and the kind of care that the BVI community has for mankind in general. And I hope that as a community we continue to be this way, we continue to be kind, loving, and generous. Yes, sometimes we can be a little bit, what should I say, nationalistic and a little bit protective. But when situations like this arise, we really come together and we see the true character of the BVI community when we have situations
Indeed.
such as this.
I want to say a special thanks to you, Ryan, A.G. Ryan, because you were the person who really pulled together the non-governmental organizations and got them going. Let's say, and you've been pulled in every direction for the whole week, keeping your company going, your business going, as well as this effort, and making sure that it worked. I also want to thank JTV, always there to
Kathy.
help us. And always full of faith, not looking for any special recognition, but there behind the scenes making us look good and sound good. 284 Media, thank you very much. Thanks for all the publicity that you gave to us in advance. We are very, very, very grateful. We have to, sorry.
So we've been talking so much.
Thank you. We have to, of course, thank Bank of Asia.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
We invaded their space today.
Definitely.
So a huge thank you.
They're very good at assisting us with Rotary events because this was the venue for a district conference last year, almost a year ago. So they're very, very generous with Rotary.
And to now that I've got my voice back, I hope, to One Mart who supplied us with some sandwiches and water and so on. And to the whole Rotary family.
Yes, here in full force. You would not have seen, but we had a lot of people working behind the scenes. A lot of persons. Yes, it's been tremendous. So, and then we have Norman, Pippi Norman, who was one of our technicians, right?
We were slaving behind the scenes to try to get us back up with our sound, and he was partly instrumental along with Akimo Percival.
I can never forget. So. But most of all, we have to thank the BVI community.
Amen.
For that $90,000. Were it not for the generosity of the community, we would be here talking, and I would be coughing.
And nothing to show.
And nothing to show at the end of the night. But at the end of the night, we have surpassed our goal. In fact, almost doubled our goal. And probably in the coming days, will double our goal. So thank you all very much. Thank you, BVI community. Thanks to all who have made tonight possible. If I've forgotten anyone, please forgive us. Thank you, A.G. Ryan, for your excellent coordinating efforts. And thanks to you who are still with us on Zoom. And a very good night to everyone.
And just before we wrap up, I do just want to, again, thank you, my two illustrious roses, my co-hosts here, both Lorna Smith and Dama Maduro. And to not forget about the collaboration that we're doing with Lions and ADRA and Red Cross. You'll see, be generous. If you haven't been able to give tonight monetarily, give with food and other supplies. These things are needed and they will be shipped out. So I do want to recognize the other NGOs who have come together collaboratively, working on the ground together to make this happen for the people of St. Vincent. So please continue to pray for St. Vincent, continue to remember St. Vincent, but most of all, we love St. Vincent. So St. Vincent strong, as we say, and St. Vincent love, all from all of us here in the BVI. Thank you for joining us this evening and for your generosity, and we certainly look forward now to putting all your funds into good work, along with our team on the ground, both Brian and David and all of the Rotarians there. So thank you, everybody. And thank our Zoom audience as well. And everybody on Zoom.
And on Facebook.
And
Facebook, yes. And also to the Premier for joining us this evening, taking time out of his busy schedule to listen in. And all of the guests who came on, whether it be Derek Correa, Vance Lewis, Jerry Ferrara. Did I forget anybody? Oh, and DDM with Jason Penn. Everybody has been, and also, unfortunately, I will give apologies for Charlene Dabrio as well, who was unable to join us, unfortunately, tonight, but has been. We're going to have one more pledge, and do I have to do a big drum roll for this one?
Caleb wanted to donate from Haiti.
Oh, wonderful. Amazing. So we have a Rotarian from Haiti, all the way from Haiti, who has been listening in for us because we've been so generous as well, and you have been generous for Pledge for Haiti. So it's Caleb Lucien, who's none other than the great Caleb Lucien, who a lot of Rotarians here know and love. We love our Haitian people, along with our Vincentian people, along with our Bahamian people, along with our USVR people, Anguilla people, Guyanese people. The entire Caribbean were one, as we said. So on behalf of all of us, on behalf of my two co-hosts, I thank you, and have a good night.
Thank you. And
Thank
good night
you.
to all.
Night.